Hello, welcome to jseeb1 episode number 47. I mean 41, not 47. Today we're going to be talking about heating elements, and I'm not talking about building a circuit with them. Well, there's a heating element. All this contributes to a different source, but we will talk about that. Anything when you're messing around with, do not try this at home unless if you know what you're doing. When you're messing around with mains voltage, you should have a GFCI block, and this one has two modes in it. It's got a GFCI and a circuit breaker, so it doesn't trip my main breaker. Well, let's talk about this. And then you also should have one of these things. It's gonna detect it's gonna beep because of the fact that there's a fluorescent lamp behind me. But see, because it inducts off of that, it's sending a low voltage through the wires. See, but it does that whenever it's live. But since when I'm having a fluorescent lamp next to it, that's the reason why it does that. But this is a non-contact voltage detector. It could save your life one day if you're like nailing in a wall or something, or nailing in something into the wall. Well, let's get into it. There's many switches on this thing that I use to turn on this. And I can't stress enough, if you don't know what you're doing, do not mess around with 110 or 220. Well, let's start up. Let's turn the GFCI on. Let's turn the circuit breaker on. The fan kicks on. Then there's a relay right there. Click that on. And see, it starts getting slightly hot. And do not touch these when it's in operation, otherwise it will burn you, because it's a heating element. And then if you feel right here, it gets warm. You gotta have a fan on there, otherwise it directs the heat off into whatever. But see, I got a low voltage side and a high voltage side on the relay. This is rated up to 50 amps. And then I just run the fan in series with the heating element, and it doesn't matter if the relay's on or off. The fan's always gonna be on. It's another safety feature I developed in there. See, when I flick this, you can hear the relay click. Let me just shut that unit off. That we can hear the relay click. I'm using a regular switch, a 12 volt switch off of anything, to switch it. And I got it off of a space heater. Let's turn the unit back on. I got a process in which you turn the unit on and off too. First thing, let's turn the unit on and let's demonstrate. All the way on when this heating element turns on. Okay. The vice grips are on there, that way it doesn't. Glass is good for this kind of stuff. But first, you turn off the heating element with the relay. Then you wait for the unit to cool down. And see, it quickly distributes. And then you come over here, turn the circuit breaker off. Then you turn the GCFI off. This didn't cost me much, about 40 bucks. And it's got 4 receptacles and it's ground fault circuit interrupter. So if one of these lines would touch one of these vice grips or something like that, or vice versa, this thing would turn off. See, even though that thing's turned on and off, let's demonstrate with the full process. Turn the unit on. Let's just demonstrate with it on. The shutdown process. See, it's getting hot. Then you turn the main switch off, which will turn the heating element off. Then you disconnect the power to the relay. And then you turn this thing off right here, right after it gets cool. Like after 10 seconds afterwards. Then you shut the GCFI off. See, there's no more power in this unit. But see, when it turns on, I'm not going to have the heating element on it all the time, just to demonstrate that there's still power going to it. This is how it's wired up. Here's the 15 volt input right there. It goes to the switch, into the coil side of this, relay. These two are the 12 volts. Since when I'm going to be touching around there, you want to make sure that it's shut off. Oh yeah, I can't use that thing because it's using the fluorescent. Well, it's discharged because the fan's not turning on or anything like that. Well, these two are the 50 amp relay. These two are connected, but these two are not when the unit's shut off. I can demonstrate that. Oh wait, I just shut the unit off. See? Still turns on when the unit's off. Let's just say. And then when I flick the switch here, this is separate, so it doesn't have to be connected to the 110 in order to switch. Let's see inside the relay. This is supposed to be yesterday, but the reason why I didn't upload is because I had a severe sore throat. And I was sick. Let me just make sure that this thing's off. Yep. And just disconnect these lines here. Oh, come on. Every time I try and pull up on one side, the other side goes down. Sometimes I hate physics. I'm going to just use one of these nails to hold the side in open. Come on. Let me just grab a smaller nail. I guess it has to be even smaller. There, this size has to work. I'm basically opening this up to show you guys what's inside of it. That's how it works. Because I didn't have one of these in the relay video that I did. If I can get this thing back open again. Not very many of these unit relays nowadays have where you get to see inside of them. There, got it open. This is what it looks like, YouTube. See, the low voltage is isolated from the high voltage. Let me just connect the coil up and show you guys what happens. Watch the switch part. See, that's the reason why you hear clicking inside the relays, because it exhibits the force of the Now let me just hook up the 110 side now. See, that flash of light is because it's breaking the circuit. That's called an arc. Now let me just... let me make sure that this thing is cooled off before I shut it off. So that thing happens inside. And basically this is what happens. When you flick the switch, that thing makes this piece go inwards, which contacts that. And then the name of that is called a contactor. Contactor. Basically it makes the two pieces contact. And then that's my most recent video. Let me just do one more cycle to show you guys it works. Do not try this at home unless if you guys got experience with mains voltages. See that clicks on, and see that heating element heats up again. That's the brightest it gets. And see, it's warm over here. Well, thanks for watching, YouTube. Please rate, comment, subscribe for more videos.